Welcome back, Brickmaniacs, to another episode of Brickmania TV. I'm joined here with Dan Siskind, and we're going to go over the Blitz Box.
Blitz Box. So Blitz Box is in the tradition of the old battle packs that Brickmania used to do, where you would get a set, either a vehicle, a gun, and almost like a play set. We've done various kinds in the past, so that's in a nutshell what a battle pack. And we decided we're going to do one. We've traditionally done one around shortly before the holidays every year, and this year's no exception. We decided we would do it. I don't think we actually did one last year, did we?
No, I think, to me, this is the first that we've done.
Well, this is Blitz Box, so it's called the Blitz Box because we're like looking forward to the anniversary of the invasion of France, and we're kind of in this weird period right now. If like in history, 80 years ago right now in history was it was after the invasion of Poland, but before the invasion of France, and it was kind of a fear. It was a perfect time to release the Blitz Box. Blitz actually talking about the Blitzkrieg German tactics.
Right.
So. And
it was cool because we were in Bobington and we saw all these tanks there.
We did. So.
Or at least a variant of these.
Yeah. Other different models. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost precisely actually.
I think they had this there. I think they had a Hotchkiss.
I believe they did.
Yeah.
They had one sort of Hotchkiss or another, hopscotch or another. So it was funny. They had a Panzer II there, but it was a later Panzer II painted in these colors.
It was an F or an M or something.
Yeah, it was much later in the war variant, but they had it painted as if it was in France in 1940. So.
Yeah, I noticed that because you told me making that color scheme. I was like, that's a later war tank that they had there.
Yeah, little known fact. Yeah. During 1939, 1940, the German camouflage scheme, I think everything came out of the factory, this dark gray color, field grau or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
And then they would field modify, just grab some brown paint and slap some paint on it. Little known fact is that the Wehrmacht and the Panzer Corps was really low budget at the time. I mean, they were straining every economic muscle they could just to get to hobble together an effective fighting force.
Right. Yeah. For the Blitzkrieg, that was mostly just small tanks like this.
Yeah. And this one was actually a German design. A lot of the tanks that they had were sort of impounded from the countries they took over, like the Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia, I guess at that time. So you see a lot of Czech tanks, the Skoda manufactured stuff.
True.
But this is actually a Panzer II, an actual German homegrown tank design. So maybe we should just go through each one that we have here.
So I guess Dan, I just basically modified your original design of your Panzer II Officer C.
Right, and you'll recognize a lot of this stuff because we've been finding if we want to get people request a lot of our older stuff, and like let's just get it out, let's put it out. So we're not going to redesign something from scratch that we already have a fairly decent design from. So I like the upgrades that you did put on it, though. I mean,
thanks.
Yeah,
that model was what, 2-3 years old.
It's been sort of recycled many times.
Sure.
So it was in the Rats and Foxes, as you might know, in a tan color, and it's been in several other releases. I do like the new sloping roof. This turret side, it's actually a printed tile.
Yeah, it's a printed tile, so it's a printed right and a printed left side.
That was a very good addition. So.
Yeah, and it just so happened to work out. Getting over a couple of years that this has been needing an update. We've had new colors of parts, new different part designs entirely from Lego. And
a actually better appreciation of the camouflage. So we've been doing research. So we've been doing, people may have noticed we've been doing a lot more brick-built camouflage, and even just the sticker camouflage. We've been doing a lot more research and finding out that there are camouflage versions there. They may have rolled out of the factory as gray, but they weren't actually gray in the field. And they get dirty, of course, but they were painted.
Yeah, and it's a fun challenge building in brick-built camouflage.
Yeah,
once in a while.
It's more fun. The stickers are cool, but I personally prefer this.
Yeah.
We can actually get more realistic camouflage with the stickers, but this is traditional Lego.
It's a fun build, and it's actually easier building from instructions that have different colored parts in there. So it's not all just solid dark gray or tan or whatever.
You can identify where the parts change colors.
Right.
So we have, like, in this pack, we have a combination. We have 3 vehicles, 3 guns, 6 guys. So each tank comes with a tank commander, which is a variant of a Panzer or other tank commander that we've done previously to match the tank they're riding in.
Right.
So they're slightly updated. We do get 3 officers too, which these are all unreleased officers. We've never done any of these before. So
right. So everything you're seeing here is slightly modified of something we have had before, except this is entirely new.
Yes.
This Hotchkiss H35 Mod 40.
And of course the officers are brand new too.
Right, brand new officers. Everything's been updated, at least in some fashion.
So there is a combination of printed elements and stickers, correct?
Correct. Yes, so it's printed turret numbers on either side of the turret. There's a left and a right. There's a printed curve slope here with the Balkan Cruise on the side. And then on the back is a sticker of the Balkan Cruise, and then as well on the side, just underneath the turret here. And then I put a sticker over the drive wheels.
Sure.
There's a right and a left side. Dark gray on one side, reddish brown on the other.
And one thing we did on this, you have noticed, is notice these tracks. These are actually...
They're Lego tracks.
They're not Brickmania track links. They're single wide Technic chains, which we used to use in all of our kits years ago, and they became too hard to get, and they still are very difficult for us to get, but not so difficult that we can't find some for an occasional set. So this goes back to the original Brickmania Panzer IIs before there was a Brickmania track link. So if you're looking at some of our older sets, you will notice that we use this before we use the Brickmania track links.
Right.
What it does do, it gives you more of a German, realistic, open track, which we hope to incorporate into some future edition of our track links. But it's also thinner. You're able to have more ground clearance in there. So that's no hanging up. It works really well.
Yeah, they're real nice. Yeah, and historical accuracy was kind of the main driver behind using that Technic chain, and the fact that we're only making 100 of these.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about wiping out the world supply, which we've done many times in the past, which led us to making our own track links. So,
right.
So that was fun. It was a fun thing to go back and see these tracks revisited, because we haven't done them in years.
Yeah. So other than that, though, there's an opening hatch on the top.
Yep.
You can put the tank commander in there, and that tank commander, like Dan was saying, is sort of a repurposed figure, at least the torso. But he does have a new face.
And the Panzer commanders that we sell online have yellow heads.
Yeah, these are all flesh guys in this kit.
So we're getting away from using standard Lego heads. For one thing, they're getting harder and harder to find big quantities of the same thing, and I'm sure that's going to continue to be the case. So we can print our own heads. I mean, it's actually a Lego part. We print our own artwork on.
Yeah.
It makes each piece more unique anyway, so it's more of a one of a kind. I believe the new release video, Landon went over all of these.
He's got all over
a lot more. So look at the other new release video for this week, and of course we'll have a link for that to see an in-depth look at each one of these figures.
Exactly. So aside from that, otherwise you just get the folding antenna, folding forward. And yeah, again, the hull is basically Dan's design. I just modified it, used some different parts, different colors for sure.
Yeah, I like the addition of the Brick Arms barrel on there.
Yeah,
the heavy MG barrel really makes it look more like the 20mm cannon that would be on this tank.
Right. So I guess that's that. We can probably move on to the next tank.
I like the bullion bar for the
yeah,
that's awesome.
it was pretty fitting.
Yeah,
it's got that nice taper to it. It looks like looks like a piece of steel, you know. So that's fun.
Awesome. That's great.
Some nice little details in that one.
I didn't even notice that before.
Yeah, moving on, we can start off following that with the Hotchkiss H35 Mod 40.
So Hotchkiss being basically another light tank, sort of in the same vein as the Renault light tank, Renault 35.
They look very similar.
Yeah, they are, and the characteristics are almost identical too. So the gun, the armament, everything. So they are light tanks. And, I love the way the hatch works on this one.
Yeah, the hatch. So like a lot of French tanks. I don't know if there is a French tank that doesn't have a hatch opening out the back.
You don't have to climb through a hole in the
right.
You actually, the back opens up. You can use it as a seat. It's kind of a fun little addition. We've done that on several, I mean, all the World War II tanks, and of course even the FT from World War I has an opening, although it's a split opening in the back. It's still the back of the turret rather than the top.
Right.
This one does have that cool ventilator on top. So
it does, yeah.
That's printed, right? Correct.
It's printed. So there's quite a few printed elements.
It's a combination on this one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a combination. And all the stickers in this kit, in the Blitz Box kit, they're all transparent. Ooh. So they're the creme de la creme of
moving
stickers.
to a new level. Yeah,
because
it actually, just for those who don't know, printing white on clear is actually a lot more challenging than printing on a white background like we normally do. So
it is, but we've got nice vibrant white.
Yeah,
right
they look great.
Takes a couple passes, but
yeah,
it works out. Got some nice brick built suspension on the side. It's not functioning, but it looks nice with the minifig hands in there. It looks like something's going on. Really intense camouflage. It's hard to get a lot of those pieces. Again, that's why we're only making 100 of these.
When we only make 100, it does open up a lot of doors to parts that we would normally never use because we can't get them in quantity.
Right.
Just a reminder, we don't control the bricks. We don't just go to like Lego and say, hey, Lego, we want 100,000 of these, and they'll just happily send it. That doesn't happen at all. We have to go find these on the aftermarket. So, just like you, and we're looking and we're buying in the stores, going to places, that sell online, and it's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky.
Rotating turret on top. We have Brickmania track links on this one.
Yeah, that brown color is perfect.
Yeah, brown single wide tracks. And we do have an elevating, and it looks like a little bit of depression.
Yeah, it's a great, the way that the turret came together is awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice. It feels good to hold it. Sometimes a kit just feels good.
Yeah. Well, all of these are very solid builds.
Yeah.
There's no, you're not gonna, they feel like tanks. They feel like a tank should. You don't feel like if you touch it the wrong way that the skirt's gonna fall off or something, the fender's gonna fall off or something. So it's a really nicely built model.
And you don't see a lot of these tanks in this color with the French markings on them because shortly after they were captured by Germans and repainted.
Yeah, and then went to Russia.
Yep.
Are used for occupation. So I think a lot of them ended up in Norway and Scandinavia. So wherever the Germans went, they brought their French tanks with them.
Yeah. It was nice to come back to doing a French tank after doing American and German and Russian stuff for so long. Because we haven't done it since when we did that month of...
We did one month.
Blitz.
A couple of years ago.
I don't remember what it was called. Month. It's 2 years ago.
It was the Fall of France month.
Fall of France.
So we needed to give the French a chance.
Right.
We didn't do like the defense of France. So we kind of shortchanged the French in World War II before. So we're trying to change our ways here.
So I guess in accordance with that, we have the MLE
1897.
Yep.
So this is the famous French 75.
So put it up here.
And they made many versions of this. So that in World War I, this was like the sort of like queen of the battlefield as far as artillery pieces. It's a quick firing, semi-automatic, 75 millimeter gun, good against armored, base armored fortifications. Good against tanks, good against just about anything you throw at it. It's a direct fire weapon, which made it ideally suited for anti-tank purposes, even in World War II. So at the start of World War II, there were tens of thousands of these guns in the French inventory. In fact, a lot of in Europe, all over the place. The Poles had them, used them quite effectively, and they did make certain changes. So this one in particular, we modeled. We did the 1939 mod. I don't remember which mod we did.
I don't remember. Yeah, it was an updated one because it has steel wheels with rubber around them.
Yeah, so it's still spoked wheels, still like wagon type wheels, but it does have a pneumatic tire. There's another version even that has a big, fat, huge pneumatic tire on it, which I think we've done elsewhere in the past as well. So this is a new version, so you could actually use this in your World War I mocks as well. Just take off those again. The Lego Technic chains, which we opened the floodgates on this one, so let's use them.
Yeah.
So this is another, it's a one and done, so we can get away with that.
I guess we can backtrack a tad and talk about the Pak 36.
Right. So this is our standard Pak 36. We've been doing this gun in various forms almost since Brickmania began. It is at the outbreak of World War II. It was the standard German anti-tank gun. It's 37 millimeters, fires a really small but effective shell. I'm not really sure where 37 millimeter, maybe it was Bofors, started this whole trend with the 37 millimeters, but the American M3, the British 2-pounder, it's all basically almost the same gun, the same bore. So it's a high velocity, small shell, armor piercing shell. We've kind of updated it throughout the year. So this one does have a split tail. We'll just pull this apart so you can see that just like the real thing, you can deploy it. Oops, except I'm dropping pieces. Except in the real thing, it doesn't come apart like that unless you run it over with the French tank.
Right.
So there you go. So we have it deployed, ready for combat.
And this is a highly playable kit box that we have.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
The Blitz Box. So the battle packs is sort of a tradition of a battle pack. We did one, I think, a Barbarossa battle pack. Like the first time we did a battle pack. Oh, actually, no, it was like 2011. We did a Pacific battle pack.
Okay.
Or a battle pack of something. It came with I think it was a Stewart and I think it was a Stewart, a Universal Carrier, and a Japanese tank of some sort. I'm sure somebody out there remembers it correctly. But
Sure.
we've done this this like 8 years ago. We had our first one, and pretty much every year we've done one, with a few exceptions. Like last year we didn't do a battle pack. But
Unless we did anything World War I battle pack.
we did that one year. Remember we did a battle pack that had a bunker,
and
an
a Renault.
RT, the French FT tank.
Sure.
Yeah. So we did that one year. We did another battle pack that had it was actually all the Pacific battle pack. It
That was the IJA Coastal Defense Battery.
Yeah, coastal
That's what
defense.
it was.
Yeah. And we did another one that had it was a pretty epic one. We did some anti-aircraft ones. So you had artillery tractors pulling guns or pulling howitzers.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah.
we've done a few of those in the past, but yeah. So this is in that spirit. It's all about
Sure.
all stuff that goes together that can be played together.
Sure. So one of the largest, probably.
Yeah, this is by far the largest, actually.
I guess we'll move on to the Vickers light tank.
Yes, this is the Vickers light tank. This one is almost spot on with the one that's in the Blitzkrieg Bricks book.
Yes, it is almost identical. The only thing I really updated was an exterior suspension.
Yeah, the suspension's been added, and it does have those actual Lego tracks on it now, so
And
it will roll a lot better.
Yeah, and printed elements as well.
Yeah, which of course are not in the book.
So what were stickered is now a printed element.
Yep, and you get a driver, so
Yes, exactly.
or commander. So in this case,
And this commander, he's actually probably the only figure that hasn't changed. He's coming straight out of the Firefly Atom pack.
oh right,
So you've seen this guy before.
yeah, so that's a good one.
Otherwise, everything else is
Yep,
brand new.
and it comes with a 2-pounder.
Yep. And this 2-pounder also has a printed element. Just a
the
little
sight hole, yeah.
the sight hole on the
It's like there's a little hatch, like the sliding hatch with the gunner, I guess, would be sitting in the seat.
Yes, yep, he's got a seat there. So this is one of Dan's models that I also modified. Just
Came with a Universal Carrier set about 4 or 5 years back.
yeah, it's been a while since we had this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Out and about.
This is slightly updated, so as it should be.
So one feature I did include, well, I'm sure yours probably did include it, but you can take the wheels off, which is pretty common that they would do this, and they had these feet in the front, which is an addition I made, so you could set it on a platform so
roll around
it can
when
traverse.
you're driving it, yes.
Exactly.
Or
And
when you're firing it.
It does just sit on the one stud.
Yeah.
So you can
And there's that little
traverse
box
it.
in the back. We didn't include them in this, but that little box fits the Brick Arms 20mm shells perfectly, which are about the size of a good stand-in for a 37mm shell. So that's a 2-pounder, but it's essentially the same bore size as the German 37,
Pack 36.
Yeah, the Pack 36. And also the Hotchkiss tank has
Right.
the same 37mm.
Right, yeah.
So isn't there a 2-pounder on this one as well?
I think it's a 2-pounder.
I think this particular, because the Vickers light tank, there are several models. One had two machine guns, two Vickers machines, and one's a heavy machine gun, one a light machine. This one has a cannon, I believe it's a 2-pounder, and a light machine gun. So.
Yep.
So that is your Blitz box.
And it's packed with a ton of printed elements, cool sticker pack. Oh, as well as 3 sticker packs.
Yes,
I forgot to bring one.
yeah. So you get a standard. These are the standard Brickmania sticker packs. You get a British infantry sticker pack?
Yeah, it was a World War II British infantry, French infantry, and German infantry.
Yeah. So you end up
squad
with
packs.
stickers for 27 additional figures. Of course, you're gonna have to buy your own helmets and gear for those guys separately, and minifigures for that matter.
Right.
But you get 6. We should add that these aren't like just like some dumbed down models that we're sticking together in a set. Each one of these, in its own right, is a full-blown Brickmania model. Of course, you can't. The variations of the tankers are kind of above your standard, figures that we sell.
Right.
Plus, you do get the 3 officers. It's never been released before.
Right. Yep.
So.
And they're exclusive to this kit.
Yeah, there's no plans on releasing them as separate figures, anything like that. Should add that as of filming this, there's less than 20 of these available.
Yeah, there's not very many left.
We put up pre-orders a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. We put up 100 kits, and we're down to just the last 20% of those, or under the last 20%. So
Yeah.
don't delay. I know it's a big pill to swallow. It's a large investment compared to buying all the stuff individually, but we don't plan on putting this stuff out individually. This is our one big kind of extravaganza that we're doing for the Blitzkrieg this year, and that's going to be it.
Yeah. Looks great. Cool action shot on the box cover as well.
Yeah, actually, that's good.
Yeah. I guess, how do we wrap this up?
That's it. Stay tuned next time for another exciting episode of Brickmania TV.